Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. How is everyone doing today? This should be a pretty fun little puzzle we've got here. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. And as you can see, there's not a ton of rule sets here. I believe this was actually a puzzle that was created for a weekly proposal for puzzles using this particular rule set, I believe. So I think I've already forgot who requested it. I think maybe it was Gojo, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself maybe in post or something like that. But anywho, the point is, we've got a puzzle here that is using diagonal x sums, and that's pretty much the only rule set we need to work with. And I think it's been a while since we've done an x sums type puzzle, so seemed like a good thing to jump into. So let's do that. So what do we got? So it's called Extra Credit by Matt Tressel. We've done plenty of puzzles by Matt Tressel before, so this one is called Normal Sudoku. It's called Normal Sudoku, but Normal Sudoku rules apply. Every row, every column, 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. Then we've got our diagonal x sums. So clues outside the grid indicate the sum of the first n digits in the indicated diagonal, where n is the first digit seen by the clue. So let's look at the 7 clue. We know that the digits, some form of digits along this diagonal, are going to have to add up to 7, and then how many of those digits we're using will be determined by the very first digit in this or the diagonal. So if this was a 3, these 3 digits would have to add up to 7. Same concept will apply for all of our other clues. And that's it. So not much to go into here for rules. It's a little bit different, I think, than the last few that we've done, where there's been a ton of different rule sets that are all working together. So a little bit of a purity thing here on this one. So anyway, with that said, links in the description below. Let's get started on this one. Let's have some fun. So question's going to be, where, of course, do we start? I think this 7 clue here is the most obvious. Yeah, and this 11 will probably be coming to play. Let's do the 7 first. So, by the rules of the puzzle, the diagonal x sums, we have a diagonal here that must add up to 7. Now, this digit here is going to tell us how many of these digits we are going to use to add to 7. So clearly we can't put a 1 here, because if we did, 1 would be the only clue we can use to add to 7, and therefore this would have to be 1. And of course, there can only be 2 different digits along this diagonal, so this has to just be a 2. And if it's a 2, 2 to get to 7 is 5. So you get a little bit of information there. Now, I don't know that we can necessarily, we do have some reduction now on these 7 clues, which I'm going to take a look at first here before we go over to the other side of that other side of the puzzle. Because we know, like we said previously, these can't ever be 1s. They now can't be 2s. So they could probably be 3s or 4s. Is it ever possible we could put a 5 here? Let's think about that. No, absolutely not. So just cursor look at it. It would tell you that. If this was a 5, we would have to have 5 different digits all adding up to 7. But we're starting off with a 5. So we would only be able to get 2 spaces away before we hit 7. So these are not 5s. So we get a 3-4 pair. So we know one of these is 3 cells. We know the other one is 4 cells. We don't know which one is which, though. Now, it seems like the 4 cell is going to be very restricted. And I think it's the same restriction for either one. So let's just look at this one. If this was a 4, we only have 3 more integers we can put into this to get to 7. So every other value would have to be 1. So whether or not this is the 4, this is the 4, we'll have this triple of 1s that goes with it. Now the 3, on the other hand, I think we could probably use that, knowing that we have either 1s in all of these. Whatever this 3 is using to get to 7, because it'll be these 3 digits, cannot use a 1. Again, it doesn't matter which one is the 4 or the 3 at the moment, but whichever one is the 4 will tell us that the 3 cannot use a 1. So if we have a 3 here and we have a 7 clue, we have to have 4 left over, but we can't use 1, so we'd have to do a double 2. So if this was a 3, we'd have double 2s like this. Oh, we can actually just use that, because this can't be 3 then. Because if this is 3, this is 4, these would all be 1s. This would be the 3, like we said. We'd have to have a 2, 2, because we can't use a 1 to get up to 7, but this 2 blocks it. So this is 4. This is 3, which this is 4. We just said all of these have to be 1s. The 3, we said these had to be 2s. So we've got a little bit of a start here now. Good. So we've finalized our 7s, and we've got some 1s and 2s and a couple of other digits, but probably not too much we can do beyond that. Yeah, I mean, we can put in 1s in some places, but I don't think we're going to get too much help from that just yet, because obviously these 2 1s see all of these. This can't ever be a 1 because of our 9 clue. So let's look at this 11, because I picked at it previously in terms of something that might be interesting. Now, of course, we know, again, the 11 clue cannot have a 1 on it, and we reinforced that with these ones. So this must be either 2 or 3, because the farthest we can ever go is 3. Now, if it's a 2, this would clearly be a 9, because we're only using 2 digits. We have to add up to 11. If it were a 3, these 2 digits would have to add up to 8 in some way, and it looks like there's probably multiple ways that could work. But what if we take this 9 clue and look at it? Because these 2 guys kind of see each other. So if there's a restriction on what this can be, depending on what this is, we might be able to work it out as to what's what. So let's think about the 9. Again, we can't have a 1. We could have a 2. We could have a 3. What about 4? If it was a 4, these would have to add up to 5 in some way. That's never going to work because we've removed 1s from all of them. So the bare minimum would be 3, 2, 2, which obviously is higher than 5. So this can't be 4. So we get a 2, 3 pair, actually. Interesting. So if these are a 2, 3 pair, that means these add up to 5. So this would either be a 6 or a 9, depending on whether this is a 2 or this is a 3. So if this is a 3 again, this would be 6, 2. If this was a 2, it would be 2, 9. And this would be 3. Now, can we go any further with the 9 because of the fact that we've got all these 1s? So if this was a 3, 3, 6, 7, 8. No, we could. Can we make that work? If this is, let's think about that closer. If this is a 3, the bare minimum this can be is a 3. Then this could be a 2. We're looking at 8 total. Yeah, we can make that work, right? Because we can make this a 4. This would stay a 2. This would be the 3. So those could work, okay. Because we couldn't have updated this one because it would have been 2 digits that we had to increase to it, and that would never work. Okay. So, well, this 15 or this 15 seem like the next place to look. Does one see? I think this one is probably more useful. Yeah, this has to be a 3. There's no other way about it. Because it obviously can't be a 1 and it can't be a 2 because we can't put a 13 here. And we can only have 3 possible digits. This is a 3. Now, that 3 tells us this is 2 and 3. Now we know this is a 3. This has to be that 6. So it all came back around again. Okay. Now, if we know this is a 9 with a 2, this has to be a 7. And we know these 2 have to add up to 12. I'll come back to this 15 clue in a second. Because we have to use all of these to add up to 15. These 2 must add up to 12. We can't use a 9, 3. So we have an 8, 4, or a 7, 5. Now we can probably reduce this one because of this 12 clue. The most this can ever be is 7, so this obviously can't be 8, and it probably can't be 7 either. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're already there, and we've got 3 more digits. This is not 7. How about 5? 5, 6. I'm just using minimum digits that we can by what we see here. So 5, 6. Well, this would actually end up being a 5, so it's probably better to use this as the lower or a higher digit. So 5, 3 is at 8, 9 with the 1 here. This could be a 2 to get us up to 11. But we'd still need 1 more digit here. So I'm wondering if this 5 is even possible. Let's dive into that a little bit more. And just make sure. The bare minimum is 1. The problem with doing this as the 1, of course, is then that we turn this bare minimum into a 5. And now we're at 9, 10 already. And we would have to put 2 1s here to make the 12. And that wouldn't work. And that's just that's using all 5. So that's not ever going to work. Now, again, we could make this a 3, so we're kind of hedging our bets here so that we can put a 1 down here. Now we're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, this could be a 2, it can't be a 1, so we're at 11. We only have 4 digits, we have to put another 1 in. This can never be 5. It just won't work. Therefore, this is a 4 and a 3, which is 7. This has to be an 8, so we can do that. Now we know this is 4 cells, and we have to be able to add up to 8 in those 4 cells. So let's see what we got. 1 here. This, again, could be 5 or 1. This could be 3, we said. And this could be 2 at a minimum. So we're looking at, again, the bare minimum would be the 3, 5, or 3, 1, sorry, which is 4 and 8, and we would have some room to work with here. Okay, so I don't know that we can necessarily tie that one down just yet. Let's start looking a little bit elsewhere, and hopefully when we get some more restrictions onto what these 2 can be, actually, we'll be able to figure out this 12. So let's go to our 11. 2, 3, 4, so there's no way this can be a 5, right? Can't be 1, it could be 2, can't be 3 or 4, could it be a 5? I think we said this previously. We have a 5, this would have to be a 2, which we're at 7, this would be a 4, and we're already over, no, so this can't be 5. So this is just a 2. If it's a 2, this is a 9 to make the 11 work. Okay, so now we've got a bunch of different digits. I still don't think this 12 is going to find what we want just yet, so let's look elsewhere. What about you? You're seeing 2 different 15 clues. We know it's not 1, not 2, and it can't be 3, so we're looking at least 4. What about 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is the most it could ever be. It would have to satisfy both of these 15s. Can we make a 5 ever work in either way? Good question. 5, 2 can make it to 7. This could be a 4, so we're up at 11. This could be a 3, we're at 14 plus a 4. There's no way we can ever make a 5 work. So this is a 4. And we kind of the easy way you could think about it would be if this was a 5, it includes this 4, so that's a 9 already. We only have 6 left over, and we can never use a 1. We can only use a 2 once, and then we end up with 4s and 5s or something along those lines as minimum. So this is a 4, short end of it. So all of these must add up to 15, and we'll go on this side in a second as well. So again, minimum of 2, minimum of 5, minimum of 3. That is 8, 10, 14. So we can only have 1 more digit increase. This can't increase 1, so it has to be 2. This can't increase 1, so it has to be 3. Therefore, this has to make that increase. So we have 4, 6, and then we have 9. So this has to be a 6. Good. Now, let's look at this 15 going this way. This could be as low as a 1. This could be as low as a 1. This might not get me anything. And this could be as low as a 1. So there really isn't any restriction on this side yet. So we'll hold off on it for a second. So what do we have left over? Again, we still have this 4, or the 12, sorry, that we can look at. The 15 and this 15. Let's look at this 15. Because again, it can't be 1, can't be 2, can't be 3, can't be 4. Can't be, it could be 5, it can't be 6. I think 7 would probably be way out of line. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we had 7 digits, we're already at 14. Not a chance in heck. This is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And we missed that 9. So now we have, this being a 15 clue, we already have 7 taken. So these 3 have to add up to 8. This could be 1. This could be 1 still. And again, this could be 1. So we have, these diagonals are not quite worked out yet because we can't quite cut down what can and can't go in them. At least not on the low digit. So maybe we need to figure out more 1s, and that'll give us some further information. Or we need to come back to this 15 down here and start looking around. But let's look at Sudoku real quick just to make sure. Okay, we can get a 2 actually, just by base Sudoku. And we get left with an X-wing there. Let's look at 3s real quick. We actually do get a 3 here. That's interesting. One of these is a 3. I think that's as far as we'll go there. 4s, there's a couple. I don't think we're getting really anywhere with this. I don't want to mark 5s. 6s, no. 7s, 8s, and 9s are not good. Okay. We got a couple of digits there. In fact, that might be useful for our 12 digit. But I'm going to go back to this 15 because I haven't even really started to think about it. So we'll try to get some givens in here. Obviously, it can't be 1, can't be 2. Could be 3 or 4. Can't be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no way it's going to be 6, right? Because we're thinking about a 6 here. We've got a bare minimum of a 3, 4 to go with it. We're already at 13. Yeah, there's no way. So this is either 3 or 4. Are we going to get anything out of that? I don't know. Because we still have, with the 3 and the 4, we have, well, this digit's going to be quite high, actually. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all see it. So this is either a 7 or an 8 just by Sudoku itself. Now, we have a 4 here plus the bare minimum of 7. We're looking at 10. These would have to add up to 5, and we can't ever do it because we can't use a 2, 3, or a 1, 4. This is a 3, which is going to give us a 3. Good. Now that we know these 2 digits have to add up to 12. We can't do 9, 3, similar to down here, or whichever one it was over here that we did that with. It can't be 9, 3. It can't be 8, 4, or it can be 8, 4, excuse me, but it can't be 7, 5. So this is a 4, 8 pair, and we have a 4 here, so we can put those in. Now, does that take us any further? I think we're going to have to get into this 12 and maybe these 15s after. So let's do that. So let's go back and look at our 12. We've got a 4, so all of these must be included. What are our bare minimums? Yet again. The problem is I don't think we've really reduced the bare minimums too much. But let's look here. We've got a 1 as a minimum. This technically could be a 1, but again, we had that juxtaposition there where they can't both be 1. So if this isn't a 1, it's looking at a minimum of 5. This, on the other hand, is a minimum of 4 in that situation. And that, I think, either way, we're up to what? 5 or 6. So we're already at 9 or 10. So this has to be either a 2 or a 3, and we can't do a 3. So let's make sure we're right there. This is a 4 and this is a 4. We're at 8. That allows us to put a 1 here, which puts us at 9. This could be a 3, which it can't be. This is a 4 and this is a 1. We're looking at that being a 5 plus a 5, which is 10, and this could be a 2, which it can be. Let's just make sure there's no... Yeah, because we actually could increase this by 1 fold to rule out this being a given and get back to a 2. So I think what we're going to say is this is just a 2, but again, if this was a 1, this could be a 6 now. So we're at 7 plus 4 doesn't work. If this was a 5, no, that doesn't work. Maybe there is a juxtaposition between these two, and I'm mixing my brain up here. Again, if we put a 1 here, we're forced to put a 5 here at the minimum. So we're at 10. This would have to be 2. If we skip this being a 1, we're at a 4. And we're at 8. This has to be a 1 to get us to 9, which forces this to be 3, which it can't be. This is just a 2. And we have to make it where we have the 6, that these have to add up to 6. So this is 1, this is 5. We can't make these work another way because of the restriction here, where we can't increase this by 1, but we can do some work here. So we've got 5, 6, 10, 12. That forces this to be a 2. Good. Now, are we done? Not quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we've got 10 here. And another 2 gets us to 12. So we have to be able to put 3 here. We can't put 3 here. The bare minimum we could put here is 4. That must be something. There must have been some error in my logic there, so let's go back. Don't know why this one is hampering me so much. Essentially, I think what we can let's think of it from the 15 side here. Hold on a second. Hopefully I haven't just messed this up with my options earlier, but let's look at it from the 15 side, and maybe that will help us with our 12 side. What can this actually be? It could be a 1, it could be a 4, or a 5, or a 7. Those are our options. If this is a 4, it's including this. If it was a 7, we would have a 7 and a 4 here, which doesn't work, so that's the easy way out of that one. If this is a 5, this would be a 4 with it. We're looking at 9 there. These two have to add up to 6. We could do that with a 1-5 pair. Can't do 2-4, and we can't do 3-3. So that could work if this was a 5. And if this was a 5, this would be a 4, and we got 9 total. We have to get 3 more. This could be a 1-2. So I must have left out an option here, because that does seem like it can work. Okay, let's, I don't know that we can reduce that much further, so let's think about some Sudoku, and maybe there will be a digit in here that helps us get out of this little quandary we're in. So the 1 can go in multiple positions. The 4 can go in only 2 positions. 5 can go anywhere. 7 can go anywhere. So that's not going to help us. Let's go to something else. Still, we're down to a 2 in terms of an X-Wing. We should be at a 3 X-Wing as well, which we are. One of these would be 4. I'm wondering if this being a 4 breaks this puzzle. 1, 2, 3, because it would include this. So we're at 8 already. If this was a 4. See, sometimes going back and doing it from a different direction can make things easier instead of trying to work through every possibility. So that would make these have to add up to 4 because we have 8 already. There's absolutely no way these can add up to that. This is not 4. So this is 4. Okay. Again, we're kind of in a bunch of X-Wings here for those. One of these would be a 5. I don't think, again, we're getting much further here. 7s, we only have 1. 8s, we only have a couple of them. And then 9s, we only have 1. Okay. So, now that we have this 4 here, that is on our 15. Our 15 line, which knows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're at 9, 10, 11. These 2 digits must add up to 14. We can't do 2, 2. As to 14, must add up to 4. My brain and mouth are not working together today. It has to add up to 4 because we're at 11 right now. The only way to make that happen is this is 1, this is 3. Now with this being a 1, we can remove some options. And now let's think about this a little bit more clearly. We've got 5 already. We have to get 7 more. This is either a 4, 3 or a 5, 2. This must be a 5, 2. So I think we got to the same value here, but something up in here I was messing up. So now our 2s are done. Did we ever say we had finalized our 1s or close to them? No, we didn't. Those 3s now are starting to look like they are finalized. Good. And the 4s, we still have a little bit of work to do on 4s. So what other value have we not finalized? This 15 is the only one. So let's look at it. These 2 add up to 9, so these 2 must add up to 6. The only way to make 6 work would be a 1, 5. If this was 1, this was 5. A 2, 4 does not work because we can't put 2 or 4 in any of these. A 3, 3 does not work because we can't put 3 in any of them. So that's the only options. Yeah, that's it. So this is just a 1 and a 5. Now this all is working together. And I think we're done with all our clues. Let's just make sure we haven't made an error. 11, 15, 12, 13, 15. All of these 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. All of these 15s are good. We know these 7s are good. 4, 5, 6, 7's all good. 7 is good. 3, 8, and 4 gets us to 15. 2 and 7 is 9. 3, 6, 2 is 11. 2 and 9 are 11. 4, 5, 1, and 2 are 12. So, okay, we are good now. So I must have left out one value in one of these, and that's what was tripping me up. But we're there now, so we got it. Okay, so let's get through this now, because we should be pretty much done, or very close to it at least. We just have to finalize our Sudoku. Man, I've been at this for a little bit longer than I thought I was. 3s are done. It's probably something in a row or a column that we need to jump into, unless these extra digits we just got here are what's going to do it. There's a 5. Speak and it shall occur. So there we go. This is 5. This is 5, and this is 5. There we go. So we had to look at the 5s, and 6s are probably going to give us something too. Because one of these must be a 6, therefore, one of these is a 6. What are these two? That's probably the easier way to go about it. 6 and 9. The 1 we know goes over here. 4 could go multiple places. 6 is here. 7s, 8s, and 9s are no good. Okay. What is our finalization of getting us through this thing? 2 places for a 1. Okay, the 4 is what's going to do it in this column. This can't be 4, this can't be 4, so this is. That gives us our 1 that we can now come back in and finalize all this stuff. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go back to our 4s. This is a 4. And this one and this one. There we go. Now we've got this as a given 7. These are from 8 and 9, so this is 9 and 8. These two are from 6 and 7. Can't quite rule either out. These two must be from 6, 7, and 8, it appears. Okay, let's look at something else then. Let's look across the way. That is obviously not a 4. So we need 6, 7, and 9. Nothing of use there. 6, 7, or 8. Let's look at these guys. 6 and 9. These two must be 7 and 8. We get a 7, 8 pair. Okay, there we go. We just had to put in our digits. This is going to be a 9. What about you guys? 6, 7, and 8 again. You are 6 or 7. As we said previously, we actually have a triple 6, 7, 8, so this must be 9. That's going to give us 6 and 9. Therefore, that 6 tells us this is a 6. These two digits are going to be from 7 and 8. Can't quite rule those out. We can tell us what this one is. It's a 9. And this one is now a given 8, which means this is not. This is a 6, 7 pair. That's all working together just fine. This is a 7 or 8 pair. We get the 7, 8 there, so this is 6. There we go. 9, 6, and now this is going to break it all open. And we'll just stick all these in and finalize this thing. That forces this to be our 6. What do we have here? 8 and 9, so this is 9 and 8, and that gives us our 7, 8, and that's going to let us finalize these two. This would be 7, this would be 9. There we go. You solved the puzzle. Again, took a little bit longer than it should have probably, because I got kind of caught up on this 12 for some reason where I just couldn't process the option that was going to work there. But anywho, great puzzle. Like I said, not super complicated. It's a purist in terms of a singular rule set, which is always fun. And, well, I hope you all enjoyed that one, because I certainly did. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.